Are we live?
No.
No? Okay, just recording? Okay. Yeah, we used to do the,
But then it wouldn't let me save it.
yeah, so then we couldn't post it to YouTube, or he couldn't post it to
Oh,
YouTube.
the video?
Yeah.
That's,
That's quick.
No, it really is. It sounds phenomenal.
you gotta be posting on like Anchor and stuff too.
Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, what else?
The other smaller ones like Fitch and all those little small podcasts. The only one we're not on is SoundCloud and Pandora.
I didn't even know they had a big presence on SoundCloud and Pandora.
You have to pay to be on Pandora.
Yeah,
sure.
you have to submit and then they tell you if you're top 100 only.
Do y'all get sponsors and stuff?
We did for a while, but
It was like a penny for a play. It's not even worth sponsoring something for a penny a play, you know. So instead, like we've been reached out by Tom Ringo and they say, hey, come get some food. Holler at us here. So I guess we're going that route more. Like we'll probably do local events more and just see what the community has out there for us.
That's smart.
what can you give me?
Okay, Taco Joe? You saw that reveal to you.
Which one?
The one I tagged you in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Ricky shot for them too. What's happening, guys? Episode 63 of Nothing to Lose podcast. I'm Tony.
I'm Joey.
And Joey, I think you should take the honors of introducing our guest today.
Yeah, so we have a really awesome guest, former NFL corner, Terrell Chestnut, for the San Diego Chargers, believe it or not. Say hi.
Also known as.
The LA Chargers now, but
Back in the day, though, yeah,
Yeah.
you played when they were still San Diego, right?
yeah.
Cool. So this is the podcast. You know, we want to know all about you, and we want to hear your story. But before we cut right into the heart and soul of who Terrell is, how was your weekend?
It was good. It went too fast.
Yeah.
It always goes too fast, man. But it was good. Relaxing. Just chilling with my girl, and just really that's all we did. Try to stay out the heat, and that was it.
Yeah.
Just relax.
So shout out to your girlfriend Annie. She's actually the one who brought this collaboration together. So if you're listening, thanks so much. We love tea.
Why wouldn't she?
Yeah.
But she better.
She's like gonna listen to it. Like the little nib is like, ooh, I did not know about that. And,
Oh.
right?
I'm not sure of how much she doesn't know. Pretty much tell her everything. Just to be open.
It's the backbone, right?
Yeah, man, you gotta have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys seem pretty close. You know, I just happened to mention in passing because we work together that, you know, I have a podcast, blah, blah, blah. And then the immediate thing that she was like, you've got to have tea on. You've got to, and I was like, okay, you know, like anything in particular? And she was just like, you've got to listen to his story. You've got to hear about his life and what he's done and stuff like that. And, you know, all that good stuff. So she hyped you up more than that.
Man, listen, she's a good one, dude. I tell you, she'll bend over backwards for anybody, man. She never wants anything in return. So, you know, I'm just excited to see how far she goes in life, and I'm blessed to be a part of that.
I like that. It's so nice. Nobody's ever said that
I'm
about
not
me
gonna
before.
take the hype. Let me go turn it around on her.
No one's ever said that, like anything like that about me.
I already in Marvin's room so early into the podcast.
I know. I've honestly never left Marvin's room. But so side note, off topic, there was a terrible tragedy this weekend that Tony brought to my attention. Did you hear about the Garlic Festival in LA?
Oh man, praise out to them, man. That shooting was ridiculous. This world got to get better, man. There's just too much hate in here, man. We got to spread love and positivity, man. Because all this nonsense just it doesn't make sense, man. It's just senseless violence, senseless acts, and just prayers out to them and the families, everybody who's affected.
Did they ever catch anybody who did that? I mean, there was a bunch of descriptions. Oh, okay.
They shot him down. It's within a whole minute. So he shot 3 and then they shot him, injured like 17 or something like that.
Jesus Christ, man.
Like,
At a garlic festival?
yeah, and the way he got into it, like they had mass security, which is a lot of people. I heard it on the radio. People have gone there in the past and they said it was more like a community event because it was very minimal security, but this time they actually got cops and everything involved. So they went through security. Instead of him going through security, he went to the side fence, cut the fence open, and went through the fence and just fired. And I think at one point somebody was like, "Why are you doing this?" He's like, "I hate the world." And don't quote me on hate the world, but he did respond when somebody asked him.
Everybody likes garlic, so like, garlic make you angry. Like,
Something small, you know, he went from the one in Vegas that we all remember a couple of years ago. Like, at one point, we're gonna have to start putting in the puzzle and see like what's next, what are they gonna hit next.
I think that like there's really no pattern.
Not yet.
You
But
know?
you never know. Someone might be able to put a pattern to it. Like I don't want to think that way.
It's just
We gotta protect ourselves and everyone around us.
there's no telling.
Hey, so
yeah. So just like Terrell said, you know, thoughts and prayers, all that stuff. That's awful. But let's get back to our regular routine. We just wanted to bring that up, letting the world know that we are aware. So,
we are present.
Mr. Chestnut, can I call you Terrell?
Call me whatever you want.
So, Terrell's actually a super cool guy. He joined our softball team for work as well. The guy's a phenomenal athlete.
How can you do that? How can you have somebody that doesn't work at your work play in your softball team?
Because number one, we need him. Number two, we need him. And number three,
He's a farmer.
no, just number three, pretty much.
We need him.
Annie gets whatever she wants. So, no joke though. Terrell actually caught a fly ball with his bare hand. He actually threw the glove that he was wearing on the ground and then just straight up caught it with his bare hands. And then at the same time just screaming out, "I'm a football player!"
Yeah, I can't catch the ball with love. It's tragic trying to watch me do that.
It was so funny. I'll never
And if
forget
he,
that.
And if he didn't catch it, he was gonna say, "I'm a football player too." So he still had an excuse either
Nah,
way.
I'm a corner. They said corner's a wide receiver that can't catch, so.
I'll literally never forget, like, I just remember he's setting up to catch the ball, like, gloves in the air and all that stuff, and then, like, the ball was maybe 10 feet away from just, like, dropping on him, and he just throws it down, puts his bare hands up, and screams, "I'm a football player," and then catches it, and then, like, we're good.
Was
But-
the umpire like?
no, I think everybody was like, "What?"
It was I had no choice because I had dropped one the game before. Came
yeah.
back to me. So yeah, I wasn't trying to relive that. My girl, she's brutal too. She's like, "You suck."
No, like, we absolutely need that. Yeah, we need that though. So you're not originally from San Diego though, right?
Nah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Philly, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But the only thing that brought me out here was the charge. I would have never came out to the West Coast ever.
Never.
Never.
Are you?
Well,
a big-
I don't want to say never, but it just was never my plan to move out here growing up.
You haven't left. You know.
Hey, I found something out here I like.
So does Meek Mill have as much respect in Philly as he actually says?
Oh, he does.
Really?
He does. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh
I mean,
man.
especially when, as a fan, when you see where he's come from,
Yeah.
from being a guy that wore black dicky pants and a white tee with some dookie braids in his head, spitting on flamers and all types of videos and just giving everybody that raw stuff.
Mhm.
To see where he at now is crazy. So just to see that progress of where he came from is just that's why he got a lot of respect and the fact that he still reps his hood.
Yeah, like Drake with Toronto doesn't even let a match to like what Meek Mill and Philly have. I swear to God.
You see how it lit the city up when the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That'll probably never happen again. But
All right, Steelers.
Dirty Birds.
Oh, you still as fan?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Terrible.
And at that point, you guys did not fight.
100%.
Y'all think matches your tile. Terrible.
Hey, you know what?
What?
6 championships. All right, we just got tied with the Patriots. The Patriots just tied us. Hey, our most recent one,
2000. Wait, don't tell me.
2010, I want to say, or
No, it wasn't 2010. It was like maybe it was 2010. No, it might have been when y'all beat the
Cardinals.
Cardinals. So that was like
16?
no, but I swear to God, there was one even sooner than that.
Let's find out. Let's Google this.
I know there was one in 2006, right? And then 2010 was.
Super Bowl.
All right,
it was like
2009.
I was about to say 09.
2009, and that goes against.
Cardinals.
That's
Cardinals, okay.
That's when,
Yeah,
what's it called? San Antonio? Was it Holmes or was it?
Oh yeah, great catch.
Was it San Antonio Holmes?
Yeah.
They caught that catch in the corner end zone for a touchdown.
All right, whatever. Anyway, as long as it's within a decade, we're still relevant. Anyway, whatever. So you're from Philly.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your childhood?
Childhood wasn't your typical childhood. It was rough. You know, family went through a lot of tough things, a lot of adverse situations. But my mom had us young, and she had it was at the time it was my older sister, both my older sisters, my older brothers, and myself. So at the time it was 5 of us. Very very abusive father, and just put us in a very vicarious situation. He just put us in a bad spot where he was taking things, selling things, and in the streets, just doing us all wrong. So it just put my mom in a situation where it was hard for her to try to, be abused by him mentally, emotionally and physically, raise kids, and so it was hard. So like I said, my childhood wasn't your typical one. We got taken away from my parents. So it was my brothers, me and my brother Ryan, and my brother Don, who got taken away and got put in a foster home. They decided to keep the girls from the system just because they was worried about sexual abuse within the foster system, and so they took the boys and they kept the girls with my mom and them, and that's how it went. So growing up in the foster home was a lot different. We didn't know, it was a lot different.
Well, okay, you just dropped a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so foster, like the state representatives that monitor foster and like the DA and stuff like that, who made the decision to take you away from your parents, don't even trust the foster system for young females.
Well, that was my mom and I's decision. And all this information, because I was young.
Yeah.
I was very young. I was maybe when this happened, maybe 5.
That's pretty young.
I was very young. So I'm going off the information that was given to me from my grandmother, from my aunt, and everything. So it's like I said, my father was abusive. He would beat us. He beat us with extension cords for not finding our shoes. He would beat us for anything. In that situation, when my dad would leave, the judge was like, "You had your chance to get your kids to safety and go through that." And and my mom did the best she could in situations where she's getting abused. She's in a situation where she can't really help it. She can go to my mom's, say my grandma's house, or she can go to my aunt's house, which we did, because in my aunt's house it was her kids and my mom's kids, so it was 11 of us in a 3-bedroom house. So it's rough.
How,
you know what I mean?
How was the sleeping arrangement?
Man, I can't even remember, man. I'll tell you what.
A lot of floor, a lot of lights.
Whatever it was, we made it work. And that's how we're so close with them now.
Right.
We went through the trenches with them, and my aunt Donna's kids are like another set of siblings.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad put us in a bad situation where it put my mom in a bad situation where the judge thought she was unfit. Yeah, it's real. It was very tough.
But like honestly, like she really had nowhere else to go.
Man, she was in a bad spot. She was in a very bad spot, and as a young kid, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You didn't even go to elementary at this time.
I was still young. I didn't even go to pre-K, nothing. My brothers.
So you don't even know what normal is.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah.
I didn't. So, but I just knew it wasn't right.
Right.
My siblings, they get abused. I'm getting abused. My brother's getting abused. So, my mom's getting abused. So it's just like, how do at that point is how you see the kids. But again, I'm 5 years old, so I didn't know how to internalize any of that.
Being 5 and going through all this stuff, it's kind of hard to socialize children while that's going on. So at this time, do you remember having any friends?
All I had was my family.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if I was going outside playing with people. I just always know that I was always with my sisters and my family. But again, I was 5, so that's a lot of times you're in the house, you don't really go outside.
So you said your 2 brothers?
Yeah.
Went into the foster care system, and then going into the foster care system, does that mean you go to like a home for boys, or?
So initially we went to group home. It wasn't long, but we wasn't there long at all. It was me and my 2 brothers. We went to this to group home and just waiting for placement. That's from there. That's when I got my first set of chicken pots. Halloween, everything was all cool. And then we finally got adopted by this family called they're the Mosleys. They took us in. They lived in Wilbur, New Jersey, which was from where we were, 30 minutes away. So it wasn't a far transition, but it was different. You know, you wake up to people that you don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so all I knew was I had my brothers. So if anything, I knew it was gonna be alright.
Did you ever get used to the Moslers?
And the Mosleys, yeah, they was a great family. You look at a lot of people and see the situation in foster care, and it's not always good. A lot of times, you know, I watched a video the other day. This one kid was in 57 homes.
How's that even possible?
Yeah.
Man, it's sad. It's a cruel world, man. Because a lot of people know that the state's gonna pay you to take care of these kids,
Yeah.
and they're gonna do what they're gonna do, whether they abuse you, whether they, you know, whatever it is. We went to a good situation. We had a very very good family that took us in and treated us like their own.
Damn. Did they have their like kids of their own?
Yeah, they had kids. They Linda and Garrett, my foster siblings. They were cool. Linda was real cool. Garrett was cool. Even though he got in trouble with the law. He did things. I was young, maybe like 6, 7 years old. I smoked my first black mile. It was crazy, but
Wait, did you say 6 or 7 years old?
yeah, I was young.
Your first.
First black and mild. Yeah, I didn't even know what I was doing. I just puffed it and blew it out. You know what I mean? But
Didn't even know if I do it right.
Yeah.
Exhale.
yeah, it was crazy. It was fun though, man. It was fun.
Okay, can I let me ask you the Mosleys, were they white?
They were black.
They were black.
They
Okay.
were black.
So then, do you think that made like a
Uncomfortable?
exactly?
Again, at the same time, back then you didn't really look at race like that. I didn't really look at it like, oh, this person's white, they're different. I didn't look at it. I still don't look at it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know the difference, but I didn't think of it back then.
Yeah. The only thing I'm thinking of right now is like a kid who's like 5, and their whole 5-year life, right? They've been around people who look like them, and then all of a sudden, like against their will and against their choice, they get placed in a home with people who don't look like them. I was just wondering if there was like a break in like the psyche, because like for a 5-year-old kid,
Yeah.
that could be shocking, right? Or
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it could have been, let's say I went with a white family. It
Yeah.
definitely altered the way I was brought up.
yeah,
Whether I was more studious, whether I was less athletic. However, they could have had a different set of rules than what we were accustomed to. But again, at that time, you don't look at color that way. You know what I mean? We just knew that these people, I didn't know them from campaign. They weren't my family.
yeah.
You know what I mean? The only people I knew that were familiar was my brothers. So it was a lot of getting used to.
Okay, and you said that your brothers were older than you, right?
Yep.
So them being older than you and them sort of maybe having a better understanding of what was going on, do you feel like they might have had more resistance or backlash to being placed in a home, or were they completely just lucky and fortunate and they acclimated real well?
They definitely acclimated very well, but you definitely knew that it wasn't something they wanted. Because I talk to my cousins all the time. And we talk about the day that we were taken away, and we was coming back from the library, and there's people out there waiting for us. And as soon as we got here, this environment we left, and my cousins is very mad, crying. Everybody's crying, like, you gotta know what's going on. You know what I mean? Our bags already packed. But having older brothers going through this with you, it definitely took a lot of pressure off of me, because if there's anything that was going to happen, they were going to endure it for me.
Yeah.
So they were my protectors. So that was on the benefit of having older brothers. You go through it together. So I'm just glad they didn't split us up, because it would have been easy to put us in 3 different homes.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That happens a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Split flips. So
They don't want to take on 3 kids, especially you being the younger. You're more appealing to a family because you're younger.
Yeah.
And like, okay, we don't want these older.
yeah, I mean, because we were all 2 years apart. So when I was 5, my other brother was 7.
the oldest was 9. That's actually really old for like a like foster situation.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So but
That's tough.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was definitely different. Again, it's like I said, my childhood is not orthodox. It's not your typical childhood, but it's made me who I am today.
Yeah, which I mean, we definitely want to cut into that. So like, you going through all this, maybe not understanding, you know, you're 5 years old. That's the age of kindergarten. You know, I'm sure you had your first year of school ever with your foster family.
Yeah,
How was like your education growing up, and like, did you take it seriously?
absolutely. Especially because they gave us money. You know, every time you did well in school, they gave you money. So I always got honor rolls hard. If you don't do honor roll in pre-K kindergarten, something's wrong. Something's wrong.
All you
gotta
gotta do is
get
show
help.
up.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do. Get help, eat snacks, and go to take a nap.
Joe didn't get it.
Why is it? I've never been off the honor roll. Let's just make that clear right now. All right.
Which honor roll are we talking about?
The Player Pimp Awards.
Hey now, my mama said pimping ain't easy now.
It's not. I can tell you. But no, really. So okay, so you know.
Straight face saying that too.
You went, so you know you went through the most adverse thing that probably a 5-year-old can go through, but you sort of flipped it around at a very young age, and even if it was for a reward, right? You still made the conscious decision to do well in school. Did you think that was gonna like affect your future, or like did you even have that understanding that young?
I didn't have that understanding at the time. I just know that one, if I didn't do well in school, couldn't go outside,
Okay.
and they always give us money. Money for A's and B's. So I tried to stay my own. But at the same time, it's like if I had money, my brothers had money. My brothers had money, I had money. So yeah, if I got money, I'm going to the store. We're walking to the corner store, we're going to get some snacks.
Yeah.
And that's just how it was. So.
Yeah.
Remember this conversation when we go later on the money. Money is very important. We're gonna get deeper into it. Watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was good, but again, my brother helped me out.
Yeah.
They was always able to go outside and play. I had to do my homework first. They already did theirs. So I have very sloppy handwriting. So my brother would make the dashes and everything so I can copy over.
Yeah.
And they'll look at it and let me go outside. Cool. So he did that for me a lot, and I was happy. He was the real MVP during that time.
Left-handed?
I'm right-handed. I just had very sloppy handwriting. I'm young, 6 years old, barely know how to color in the lines,
Right.
but it was cool.
Nice. I was thinking, I was like, your parents having so many kids at the very beginning, like that sounds, terrible, especially for the situation that your family was in. But now that, you guys are in a better situation at this point in your life, having all those kids was actually, like one of the best things that could have happened to you, having such a strong and large support system.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the good thing for us was the family that we went to, they had connections with people in my family.
Oh,
So they knew people who knew my family.
right.
And
So you
it was
didn't-
able to still keep a relationship with them. And we had to meet with our social workers and everything at least once a week.
Mhm.
We used to go down to this place called the Presbyterian Children's Village in Philly and meet with our social worker. And then they started arranging times where my mom and my sisters and my grandmother can come down and see us. So we was able to keep that connection. It was great for my brothers. I was so young that you don't see somebody for a while. You know them, but you really don't know them.
Yeah,
And
of course.
my grandmother told me this story over and over again because it's like she said it wasn't a dry eye in the room because when I see my mom, I just stood there. Everybody else ran to him. I just stood there, and I butter out my mouth, mommy, and then ran up to her and gave her a hug. But I'm young. I don't remember. But my grandmother, that's probably one of her favorite stories to tell. So, but again, we were put in a very, it was a bad situation that worked out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How did your your sister stayed with your original parents?
Yeah, they stayed with my mom, my aunts, my grandma. So
How were they doing while you and your brothers were like excelling at school and like doing all these great things? Like were your sisters also, or was it tough?
Yeah, my sister's very smart. Sisters are very smart. Sister Nessa was always on honor roll. My sister's name was, she was on honor roll, but she was a little rough around the edges, according to my mom. But they were good. I think if you look at the batch of kids my mom had, it could have always been worse.
Mm-hmm.
We could have been in the streets. We could have done anything. So, at that time, everything worked out the way it's supposed to work out, and you know they were good.
I'm just like thinking. I'm listening to your story and all this. You know, all of these, like, there have been so many opportunities for you to say something that went south, right? But the only thing I'm hearing is just that you and your sisters and your brothers, like, you guys all sort of just kind of got your shit together based on the you know, your
I think they had a
dad's
path
action.
though. They had a path.
I know, but like you know, how many times do you hear stories about like foster kids who like end up going with drug abuse or, you know, gangs, or end up breaking the law because, you know, they're resistant and they're, you know, teenagers acting out and stuff like that.
His brother's example in himself is like what the system's supposed to do, you know, help him and make that way. And the other stories that we hear that unfortunately are the ones that are the more likely ones.
It's just terrible, man. But you know what? The thing is, you know, if you're not exposed to that type of stuff, as far as, you know, drugs and gangs and things of that nature, it's hard to really pick up, you know, those tendencies. You know, we've seen it. You know, I remember we was playing basketball one time, and you know, some undercover cops came up and busted these people. Us, we was like, "Whoa, we ain't no big drug dealers. We just playing ball. We ain't no different." But we wasn't exposed to it. You know, if anything went down or was about to go down, they always be like, "Youngins, go ahead, get out of here." You know what I mean? So we couldn't become a product of the environment because it was really never exposed to us.
Oh, okay. So like, you know, the block was sort of like protecting the young kids, but not.
He never saw me.
But we in Jersey at the time.
Oh, okay.
You know, I mean, we in Jersey at the time, so it's definitely different. You know, I mean, we live literally two blocks away from my school. You know, we all walk to school at the same time. So it was always a group of us, and you know, it was a very family community. So, but again, it was never bad. It was never bad when we was growing up. At least I never seen it.
Right.
My brother maybe seen different things, but I never seen it.
Okay. Yeah.
Just trying. Joey wants to get that good story or something. Like something.
No. You know, I'm like, all these things that happened to you and your family. You know, I can see just by knowing you for like the last 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks or so. I can see like the residual gracefulness that T always has, and like, you know, like you ever meet somebody and you're just like, wow, like that's just a really good person.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense now. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's you know, in life it's like you give options, you got decisions to make, and for me it was always easier to make the right decision than it was the wrong, because I tried to flirt with that wrong path. Right. Which I'll get into later on, but it was just so much easier to not disappoint those who was around me, and do the right thing, because then I'd just be falling into the hand that I was supposed to be in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you like did you feel any extra pressure, you know, just like growing up and having to perform and like be studious and be a good kid, because you had like the Mosleys who were looking after you, you had your social worker who checked in on you, you had your immediate family, your grandma, your mom, your sisters who were always keeping tabs on you, you had your brothers who kept your accountable, you had your school. I mean, like, you had so many people who were always constantly observing. And, you know, I mean, did you feel any extra pressure? I mean, did that kind of...
Yeah, I was a kid. It's not supposed to have no pressure on me. You know what I mean? You know, we was in foster homes from the age of 5 to maybe 9 or 10. You know what I mean? I was in there for 5 years. But, you know, it was, you know, I'm not supposed to put pressure. As a kid, you're supposed to go out there, have fun, go to school, eat candy, you know, do the little things. But for, like I said, my life wasn't regular. You know what I mean? We're in foster home, and, you know, another bond for you. You know, just coming up on our last year in foster care, my brother passed away. One of my brothers passed away at the age of 10.
So he was 10 and you were 8?
I was 8. One of my brothers passed away, and normal night, remember it like it was nothing. You know, remember it like it was yesterday, man. It was regular day. We're in the playroom. We're getting our snack before we go to sleep. My brother's playing the game, playing Cruising World USA in the 64. And my brother, he had asthma. He was taking his treatment. Clockwork. This is what we did before we go to sleep. He had very bad asthma. So I'm the youngest. I go to sleep first. You know, of course I can't go to sleep because the kitchen light's on. I'm looking. and I knew I was like, I didn't want to go sleep. But it's a lot of commotion going on. My brother comes in, my other brother comes in, go to sleep. But my other brother didn't come in. He's still taking another treatment and inhalers and stuff like that. And then he took him to the hospital. And that was that. He was in the hospital. That's where he passed away. And the next morning we going up. We thinking we just gonna get up and go to school and go to the hospital because he had asthma attacks in the past. Okay. And we'll go to the hospital and he'll be in a bed. I'll be like, yo, can we get some popsicles or something like that? You know what I mean? But it was different. We was going to the village, and that's when he told us, like, your brother passed away. Yeah. I didn't understand.
You still can't translate. Too
I
young.
was 8.
Like, yeah.
First incident of death, and I just see my brother break down. First time I ever seen him cry. You know what I mean? First time I ever seen him cry, and so actually I started crying.
Right.
And so I knew something wasn't right. I didn't understand it, but I just knew it was me, my other brother at the time.
So now it's you at 8 and your oldest brother at 12.
Yeah.
And you passed of an asthma attack.
Age of 10. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's weird. It was real weird, man, because we did everything together. We just, even though we're all close in age, my brother, he turned 11, 12. We started doing teenage things. So me and my other brother, we just go out there and play. He was messing with this chick. We don't know nothing. So they walking her home to school. So I'm with her and the little sister. So I'm like, yo, what are they doing? They kissing behind the bush, and I'm just waiting for them. So, it was all fun and games though, but it was just different not having him around. And you go into school right after he passed, they have his pictures hanging up and around and just sending the condolences and stuff like that. So it was just different.
And then you were still in the foster care?
Yeah, I was still in foster care. Yeah.
So you hadn't been adopted yet?
Nah. So this led up to me moving back to Pennsylvania because the family that I was with, the Mosleys, like I said, they took very good care of us. But when you lose somebody in your care, it's a lot to swallow. You know what I mean? Especially when you start caring from like you're their own.
Feel responsible.
At that point, they had 3 years with you guys. They built
a very good relationship. It's like they lost one of their own kids, and then of course they've had that guilt of if we would have took him to the hospital earlier, what could have had to save this life, and you just never know.
The what ifs.
You just never know, and at that point in time, now it is like I don't want to know. They did the best they could. They raised us right when they had us. They treated us right, and we was able to keep a good relationship with my mom and my grandmother, and my sisters. That's all you can ask for coming out of a situation like that. But it was definitely hard.
How did your mom react?
My mom was crushed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It sent my mom down a path where you don't want to see those type of things. You know what I mean? After you lose your child and he's not in your care, it's very difficult to kind of comprehend that and not blame yourself.
Of course.
You know what I mean? It's just because she had done anything differently when she was raising us, when she had us, that could have prevented it. Yeah. And the answer is no. You know what I mean? The answer is no.
Yeah, she did the best.
She did the best she could, and if it was the best decision for us to go to a foster home to possibly be in better care, to help her get right and keep my sister safe, and just a whole lot of things to get her away from my father, then she did her job. She can't, but and again, that's me now that's 27. At 8 years old, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So, but it was definitely different, man, and just waking up and it's just, not the same. It's my brother, but what it did was, you have it was an age gap, but you had that bond that brought me and my other brother closer together.
No, I mean, you had 2 best friends in the whole world.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, you have that, and it brings you together. And, we did everything together. So then at this time, at the foster family that we had, they made us go to church every Sunday. So, we had a lot of support. So at this point in time, we are about to transition out. We're still going to be in the system, but now we're going back to the people that we're familiar with. So my aunt Donna, who we used to live in the house with her and her kids, she now gets custody of my brother and I.
She had to apply for it, or then?
I don't know how it happens. I don't think I had the conversation with her yet.
Okay. Fast forward a little bit though. All these conversations that people have told you in the past, because you obviously were too young. Like, at what point did you ask them? Did you wait or did they approach you?
That's actually a really good question.
That's a very good question. It just kind of happened.
Okay.
It just kind of happened. It's not like something that I was searching for, because at that time it's like I was getting older. I just knew what I had then and I appreciated it.
Mm-hmm.
But to know what I've been through and to really appreciate the process and the path that I've come, I wanted to know. And it just kind of happened. It just happened. Natural conversation. It wasn't forced. I think.
told you this would happen at 5, and then you put the pieces. You're like, okay, let me go to 10%.
But and then I remember a lot of it though. I just didn't understand
the feelings.
And it just I can still picture things that I could see when I was 5.
Yeah, I saw your most recent book, and you pretty much your description there. Like, I felt like I was just a kid there.
So it's just like it's one thing to hear about it, but to really live it was another thing. But to understand what I've been through, you know, what I mean, it's you know, it sucks, but at the same time, man, it's a blessing through, because I could have went completely left.
Yeah.
You could have kind of followed in your dad's footsteps.
Absolutely, that would never happen.
Yeah.
No, that would never happen. But you know,
Moved back with your aunt now.
mm-hmm. So now we're in Pottstown. It's a spot called Pottstown, Pennsylvania, which is about 45 minutes outside of Philly.
Okay.
So she took us in. Now I'm entering the 3rd grade. I did kindergarten. I did pre-K, kindergarten, 1st and 2nd in New Jersey.
Okay.
So now I'm in 3rd grade. Different. My first experience out there, because I had a bad mouth. I go out there and cuss.
Okay.
Everything.
Right.
So did my brother. So it was natural for me when I'm going out there meeting new people. I'm cussing, well, snitching on me. When my neighbor told on me, so my first maybe 1 or 2 days, I'm getting my mouth washed out with soap. Yes. I tell you, I'm pissed, dude. I'm pissed. And I'm looking at my neighbor like, damn, you really gonna snitch on me? But he
It's gonna be like that now.
He ended up being my homie. I beat him up a couple times, but he was my homie though. He's my homie. You good people, man. Shout out to Zah. That's my guy.
It's always like the uncle that you hate but you still love.
Man, listen, he was younger than me too though, but like, you know, he's a good guy, man. His family's good. His dad ended up being my barber for a couple of years, but he's good people, man. But you know, moving to Pottstown was different, man, because you live in Jersey, everything it's still a city vibe, but it was just like it was home at the time, because I didn't know no different.
Right.
So we moved somewhere else, was, you know, in a complex or a subsidized house, and you got a lot of people that don't make a lot of money,
Right.
low income. So that's what it was. So, but I knew that I was around my family, and that's all that mattered.
That's all.
Were you more comfortable there than you were in Jersey?
It took some getting used to,
Yeah.
because you're waking up somewhere different. You know, and then when I first got out there, you know, I'm so young. My brother had, you know, my cousin Quentin, Andre, Andrew, Dominic. They were all closer in age.
Like you knew and
Yeah, and then I just always kicked it with my cousin Kiana. That's why, like, they used to always call me Sweet. You know what I mean? I was always around my cousin, so, you know, cousin or my sister. So they used to call me Sweet, like I was soft.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, that's what your cousins say, just trying to toughen you up. But, you know, that's just what it was. So, but living in Pottstown was different. But at this point in time, that's when I'm starting to understand what's going on. Understanding death and things of that nature. So that's when I took a turn for the worse.
Oh.
Yeah, that's when I took a turn for the worse.
I thought you were gonna say he was ready for sports, but no, the turn,
No.
turn
Sports
for the
came
worst.
down way later in life.
Okay, so the turn for the worst led to.
Oh man, so turn for the worse led to me, you know, struggling in school.
Okay, so yeah, you weren't getting paid no more. You weren't getting paid.
Wasn't getting that money, but you know, just struggling in school was a different school system, uncomfortable, and
Didn't have your middle brother to help you out.
well, it's my older brother,
Okay.
but at the same time, he's in middle school now, and he's got to worry about his stuff, and he loved basketball, so he's out there playing basketball and stuff like that. But I just started doing bad in school. Wasn't no reason. I just stopped really caring.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and all I cared about was going outside playing with my friends, and just don't think I really tried. But at the same time, grief hits you at its own time. It's going to happen when it's supposed to happen.
Right.
I started understanding. So that's when I started acting out. I don't know whether I was reaching out for help or what, but I started doing bad, and that kind of carried on because I never really addressed it.
Did you ever like get arrested?
Never.
Close.
Did you ever like do bad things though?
Yeah, I smoked weed when I was young.
Do ratchet things.
Yeah, when I was
Do
young.
hood rat things.
When I was younger, I was low key a bully.
Okay.
I was low key a bully.
Well, yeah, your neighbor. That's example one. Exhibit with.
But it was another family. It was crazy because we was cool. We was cool with this whole family, man. And I feel bad now, knowing what I did to them when we was younger because it was just bad, man. We used to chase this family home every day from school and beat up the little brother, beat up Devin.
Shout out.
That was my homie. I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about him later. He's a good kid, man. And they just said they were a white family, but they were no different than us in a situation where we're in subsidized housing. Just trying to make it out.
Where does the bully behavior come from though? Like,
Being called sweet.
I think that, but I think it was just more so like, man, just trying to fit in.
okay.
You got people who are into certain things and they want to do things. Oh, we should go do this. All right, I'm with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think I just wanted to fit in and be in the right crowd.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? So we did it. We did that job for years. For a lot of years.
Poor Devin, Jesus.
Not to high school. I think because we outgrew it. You know what I mean? We outgrew it where, you know what I mean? We seen Devin was cool. Devin, he took it like a G. And, he was like, all right, man, we over this. I mean, we getting older. It's getting...
Did you ever fight back?
Oh, yeah, he fought back a couple times. Not with me. But he fought back a couple times. But, I think, we just outgrew it and we started feeling bad. But I always felt bad afterwards. Always. And then this is all through elementary school. Once we got into middle school, it's a whole different story.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was all cool. We're going to the same school. And, we had to stick together. And then we going to school with everybody else in the district.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we were bad, man. We were real bad. Stealing from Kmart. You know what I mean?
When Kmart was around.
Yeah.
Who hasn't stolen from Kmart? I mean, those deals are stealing themselves.
Might as well just walk out with it.
Yeah, free
Let
was
me
for
help
me.
you get rid of them.
Free was for me.
Free 99.
Yeah, that's my favorite number right there. That's my favorite number, man.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so that kind of took me down that bad road, and it even led into middle school, for real. Bad grades continued,
Yeah.
and now at that point, I'm in 6th grade. I'm seeing chicks I ain't never seen before.
Yeah.
So now my mind is like, yo, she bad.
Wait a minute. Time out. So now you're suddenly interested in girls? I mean, what happened to playing with your friends and balling and beating up Devin?
That still happened on the side, but now that
We still hoop. We was definitely still go to the courts.
there was something.
But
and
I'm telling you because I had my first girlfriend when I was like in the 5th grade, and the chick was in 6th grade, and I used to walk to her crib. I didn't know no better. I didn't know no better, but I seen her. I'm like, oh, she alright. She was a little white John. She was alright, but that happened in middle school too. Kept going, but I had met another chick. And I'm like, oh, I gotta let her go. This other joint's too bad. She was too bad, so I had to let her go. But I'm young, but you go into middle school, you seen a whole bunch of different chicks that you don't see on a daily basis because they don't live in your community.
Right.
So okay, I like that. And then that's when we on AIM and instant messenger and stuff like that. So MySpace. My brother made it, y'all. Don't laugh at me.
Here we go.
It was Relly the Pimp.
Relly the Pimp?
Yeah, it was Relly the Pimp.
If you don't change your Instagram name to that, then I will. I'll change it.
Hijack his phone real quick.
It was Relly the Pimp, and I used to be on there for hours. Me and my brother would be on there. I'm like, listen, you done yet? I'm trying to get on. You feel me? But it was fun, man. We was on AIM for a minute, go MySpace. I was doing that MySpace time. But again.
She doesn't know about it. She's too young for it.
Oh god damn, dude! I remember AIM. I remember being on, and then it would cut out the phone. So
that's that dial up there.
Oh hell yeah! Oh, that's like what I had. So whenever I was on, I remember I couldn't be on for more than like 10 minutes because then my mom or dad needed to make a call, and they would pick up the phone and it would sound like a damn fax machine. And then you so
That's when you used to have the AOL disc that had 1,000 hours on it.
Yeah. Been there.
Oh man, I bet. Yeah, if you don't know what the AOL is, or AIM or MySpace, you don't know what the top 5 or who Tom is, you don't need to be on this podcast, baby.
That's the question. Like when they're like, okay, we on the guest. They're like, okay, answer these 4 questions.
Yeah, nice little question there. But yeah.
You want to know a little something about me too? I've never told this to anybody. So when I was in like 4th or 5th grade.
You're gonna tell us your name?
No, I don't even remember it. JK, I remember. I'm never telling you what it was. But no, so when I was like 4th or she doesn't know. When I was in 4th or 5th grade, I'm aiming my sister. Get out of here. No, but I had to do a research project on like a woman who did something famous or did something good for society or somebody who's important and who was a woman. It was like women appreciation, right? So like me, I don't know how to use like a web search, so I just type in famouswomen.com, straight up porno. Ooh. That was awesome, but it looked like I was doing my research project, right? Because you check the history, all it says is famous women. So yeah, I remember that.
Look at all this ass.
I'll never forget that. I remember I was plugged in and I was like, what? Because it was.
That changed your life with Google
searches, huh? That changed my life. Anyway, so right? So now Terrell's like 12. Yeah. And you're flirting around.
I skipped a real big part though.
Oh shit! What? Devin?
Skipped a real big part. Not even with Devin, man. Like I said, we still, this probably about a couple years ago. Not a couple years ago, a couple years prior to middle school, but we still would go down to my uncle's house, and I would go with my mom in the summer. She lived on a street called Kermar Street, in Philly. And like I said, when we lost my brother, it was rough on her. Like I said, she went down a real dark path where she became an alcoholic. She was drinking all crazy, and I don't even know if she knows I know, and I don't know if she's okay with me sharing this information because it's very private. But she tried to take her own life in front of me. I'm young, and it's just like a lot of this. And it's crazy because a lot of this information that I don't really speak about because I'm so worried about my family and how they think about it, but it's not true. It's not reality. It happened.
Did she know you were there?
At that, I'm sure she did, but at that moment in time, she's going through so much, and she's drinking, and luckily, at the time, my sister, baby dad, Melvin, was there peeping, seeing that she was trying to swallow his pills and dump them off and everything like that. But again, at the time, I didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So it was rough, but that kind of added to everything that was going on. Leading up to 6th grade, where I got left back in the 6th grade. I was changing my F speeds and just trying to go outside and get the chicks, and that's what I was into.
You got held back?
Oh yeah, I got held back real fast. See, I didn't know no different. I didn't know no better. I just thought I was gonna go to school, show up, and then off to the street. It wasn't like that. So got left back. But I tell you what, that might have been the best thing that ever happened to me.
I was just about to say that was probably the best thing that ever happened to you. That's crazy. You took the words right out of my mouth.
It just slowed everything down for me because even though I was still like flirting with the cusp of doing the bad thing, I had to embrace that humiliation. Right. Where all my friends were in the 7th grade and I was still in 6th grade. I had a chick that was,
And you're on aim with the chick and she's telling you, are you ready for 7th grade?
What homeroom are you in? Check the paper. You want to see? Yeah. It was crazy. So, but I had to embrace that humiliation, and I didn't really snap out of it until later. You know what I mean? And then that's why I started hanging around the right crowds. Because in middle school, you meet different people. Right. You probably seen them in elementary school, but only time you see them is in school. Yeah. Unless you live around each other. Middle school, you start meeting new people. That's when I met some of my friends. I still talk to today. Some of my best friends, like my friend Isaiah, Preston, Micah. I think that was pretty much it in that group. But they kind of were the people that followed. And I still had my friends I lived with, that I hung out with the people in my development. But these were the people I wanted to be around. You know, they had big houses, great families, and they kind of introduced me to sports. And that's how it all happened.
I'm hungry.
She was just letting me know she found parking down there because it's a hell trying to find parking at our house. But you know, like I said, she be looking at.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you know, I found the right crowd to hang around in. You know, my second year, sixth grade, seventh grade year is supposed to be. That's when I started playing football.
Okay. You know, again, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say that's when I started playing football. No, I'm just kidding. I was going to ask you, like, none of this sounds like somebody who became a starting D1 athlete right out of high school and then got drafted by a professional athletic team. So when did that conversion take place? When did, you know?
So for me, so for me, it was you know, I got introduced to a sport where I was playing with my friends, and I really didn't want to play because I would play fumble rumble or something like that and run away. And I was athletic, but I didn't want to play tackle, organized because I didn't know what I was getting into. I didn't have money to pay for anything. They have cleats, but you know, like I said, it's the people I was hanging around. Who you were. Or
FaceTime. Live FaceTime, right?
That's my sister. You know, they were great, and my friend Preston's dad, one of my best friends, Preston, you know, and his dad, who passed away a couple years ago, really took me under his wing and you know took me in as one of his own, and you know bought me my first pair of cleats and made sure I got to practice every day, and because you know he was fully vested in me as a person. You know, he walked up to the school and asked for my transcript to see how bad I was doing. You know what I mean? See how bad I was doing. Like, he said, this doesn't add up. You're a really good kid.
Right.
Well, why are you getting bad grades? It doesn't match. So at that point in time, I tried to take more pride in doing well in school. And
you were still playing flag, but it wasn't.
No, it was tackle. We was playing Pop Warner.
Okay.
I skipped another part. At this time, you know, my aunt was moving, so my grandmother afforded to get custody for us. So then that's when we moved with my grandmother. So
now you lived with your birth parents, then you went to the foster system, then you went to the Mosleys, then you went to your Aunt Donna, and then you went to
my
your
grandma. Yep. So she got full custody of us. And at first, you know, she got us, and then we went to court, and that's when my grandmother got custody of us.
You were 13 or so?
I was going into the sixth grade. So this was, you know,
the first time?
Yeah, and then, you know, first time.
Okay.
So my mom's back around. She's doing well. She's working. She's living. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And so everything's going well. You know, we're establishing that good relationship with my mom.
Yeah.
So that was, you know, was a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a breath of fresh air knowing that we was around love. So everything, you know, everything started happening the way it's supposed to. And that's when I said we got into football and got with Preston and his family, and you know his dad took interest in me, and went from there. So now it's, you know, Pop Warner. I was, you know, one of the fastest people, but you know, you go to Pop Warner, it's a lot of people that their parents are the coaches.
Yeah.
Where they're going to get we have 5 plays, 4 of them went to the other kids, 1 of them went to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to play defense if I wanted to play, because I told them, if I don't study in school, I'm not going to study these plays. So I didn't know the plays. That was just what it was.
Yeah.
So I played defense, we did well. And
What position?
I played corner.
Okay.
Played corner.
So you've always played corner.
Yeah, I played corner. But it's like, you know, they don't pass it to Pop Warner.
Yeah,
It's
of course.
run the thing. But at that point in time, you know, it just comes to an abrupt end. You go through the season, it's going on. So now I'm like, damn, what am I going to do?
What else do you do?
Nothing. You know, in 6th grade, you don't have other sports you can play in school.
Mm-hmm.
So just went to school, hung out, still went to my friend's house, and you know, just you know,
There was no off season.
there was it was, but I didn't know about it. I
Okay,
didn't know
okay.
about off season, so
It's early on too.
yeah, it was very very early on. So you know, at that time, it's just you know, I was just starting to find myself, and I get to 7th grade now. I passed, y'all. I finally passed.
all right.
So I get to 7th grade, so a lot of my friends in the 8th grade.
She's still in middle school, so you can still talk to her.
Oh yeah, but at that point in time, I was off that one.
Okay.
Okay.
At that point in time, I was
Really
off
the
when I
pimp.
was
Living up to the name.
Man, but at the same time, it's like you see certain people that are new to school, and you kind of gain interest, and I don't want to say I was cocky, but I knew I was ugly.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, I see her googly eye at me, so let me go ahead and say what's up to her.
Miss New Booty.
That was my song.
I bet it was.
Nah, but so in the 7th grade, still struggling with school.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know why, just really didn't care. But I'm still playing football.
Right.
So now I'm playing for school. So I'm like, yo, I do not want to play 7th grade because I know I was too good.
Yeah.
I didn't know it yet, but I know I was good.
Mm-hmm.
And my 6th grade teacher, he was my social studies teacher, he was actually the 8th grade coach. So he pulled me up and played 8th grade when I was in 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, my relationship with him and being around the right people, that's when it started happening. And I would stop by and talk to him during lunch and everything because I was out of his class.
Yeah.
But I started, going up in 8th grade, playing, doing well, started running back, and I wasn't scared of contact. One of my best friends, Desmond, at the time he was we was in 7th grade, he's probably like 200 some pounds. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going up against him, cleaning me.
Right.
Cleaning me. I'm skinny. I was probably like $140. And boom, become academic ineligible.
Oh, come on.
Again, I had to go through that embarrassment to know that I don't want to feel that again.
Come on.
I'm doing the wrong things. Yeah, it was rough.
Everything except P.
Man, I was. It was crazy because I'm like, yo, everybody know I got a game, and I get on the school bus. You get ineligible, you can't go to the game.
No.
You can't go to the game. So I got hop on the bus. I'm like, man, why aren't you playing? I'm like, man, I don't even want to talk about it. So I'm just walking around. And then we lost that game. That's probably the only one of the games we lost because I wasn't playing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was it was a lot of learning in that year. But I was struggling. Then I started running track. I did well, and that's when I got into a fight.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was this the first fight in school?
First fight in school.
Okay.
First fight in school. No, I lied.
Oh.
Second fight in school, because the first one, this one kid, I'm not gonna say his name though. This one kid was at the school dance talking tough,
Mm-hmm.
and then, the crazy thing is, it was probably about to give me some gum or something like that. He's giving everybody some gum. I can't have minty breath. Like I just wanted some gum, and he started talking heavy, and then he called me the N-word.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm like, okay, listen, I understand this. Look, you hang around all black people, but that doesn't give you that card to be able, especially if we ain't discussing.
So he said A, not ER, but it's still bad either way.
No matter how you say it. If you say the A and we cool, I'm gonna let it slide, but I'm gonna let you know. It's not about, you gotta be careful about who you say it around.
Yeah.
I might let it slide and people are like, oh, why you wanna let a white person say it? Because I'm okay with it. I'm not, I know he's not coming from a bad place because we use it as a word of endearment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna get mad at one of my white friends for saying that if he's used it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
But be cognizant of who you say it around because somebody might check your chin.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at that point in time, I'm not hearing nothing because now he just checked me and I gotta respond. I got all my friends with me. At the time, I had this big old Cuban zirconium earring that I stole from Kmart. You know what I mean?
I'm flop.
Yeah, so you got.
What is the statute of limitations of filing, for theft charges here?
It's well over, I hope.
Way past.
So yeah, I took the earring out.
Oh.
Yeah, I wasn't losing that thing, man. I worked too hard to get it.
Oh my God.
Oh my earring.
So I took it out. I told my mom to hold it, and we was probably at his dance for maybe 30 minutes. We wasn't there long.
Mm-hmm.
So he started talking heavy. He's screaming, "Hit me, hit me!" Okay, I'm gonna give you what you asked for. You asked me to do it. I'm not gonna be rude and not give you what you asked for.
Exactly.
That'd be
Yes.
selfish of me.
You will oblige him. Yes.
That'd be very selfish of me. So he walked away. And one thing you ever turn, one thing they say, don't ever turn your back in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, "You're 6'4" though. I'm short. I'm short, but I hit him, and he came down to my height, and I was getting busy. And one of the rent cops tackled us.
Yeah.
And my homie was like, "You gotta let him go. I'm not even touching him." The rent cop had me and him. So we both got suspended. I was pissed because it was just starting to get warm. And in middle school, we had like these carnivals where they bring Ritas, which is water ice.
Yeah.
And
East Coast.
yeah, man. So you get Ritas and you get like, dunk tanks and everything. You just get out to school and just have a day. And I couldn't do it. I had to go in the auditorium and do all this stuff, and just wasn't what I wanted to do.
Right.
But it sucked because me and the boy was real cool at one point in time.
Oh, yeah.
It sucked because it kind of tarnished our relationship moving forward. Because it's just what it was.
Was he on the football team too or no?
At 1 year, but I never played with him.
Alright.
He wasn't on my team.
So now we're going to your second fight.
Oh, yeah. Second fight.
That was for that Rita ice cream then, right?
No.
All right, second fight. I'm guessing what happened was you were running track and you were doing what's that event where you hand off the pole to somebody else?
About a 4x1.
Yeah, that. The relay. Yeah, exactly. And somebody knocked your baton out of your hand.
No, that's not what happened at all. So.
All right. Well.
It was close. So what happened was, and again, and before I move forward is, a couple years ago, I reached out to both of them and apologized for my actions because I was young.
You should have sent the other guy a pack of gum. Be like, you needed this more than me.
Nah, but
You're probably gonna do that now.
nah, man.
Yes.
Because that's like adding insult to injury.
Good.
But I reached out to them and just I was young and just kind of looking for a name for myself, but it was the wrong name. But to this fight, it was a Friday. We had a track meet Friday, so I was there in school. And we was in the cafeteria. I was about to get a slushie. The other guys getting a slushie as well, and the word wasn't even directed towards me. He said the N word, and it wasn't directed towards me.
Like, what did he say? He just said like.
Oh no, I just heard it. I just heard it. So I had to check him. I said, "Oh, for real? That's how you feel?" Yeah, N word. Now it's getting personal.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm like, I'm gonna let it ride. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna do nothing crazy. I gotta go to a track meet. It's a track championship, and I needed to stay focused because at the time it's like I ran into some of the people that became my rivals in high school. Like Momi Ryan Brumfield, this kid Sean Winhold. May he rest in peace. He had passed away a couple years ago, and they was the fastest people in the joint. So. And I'm a 7th grader, so if I beat them, it makes me look good. Me and Brumfield was both in the same grade. So, I go in there, I do well. They beat me in 100. I came in 3rd. I fought on one team, came in 2nd.
Okay.
I did well. I didn't do as good as I know I could. But I get back to school, and my homie, they call him Pooh. He's he has a problem with the guy too. So I'm like, oh, that's bad. Like, listen, I got gym class. They downstairs at music. Just wait for me to do anything. Just wait. That's all I asked.
Yeah.
So I had to get changed and everything. So I'm rushing to the locker room to get changed. Rushing, go in there, throw my stuff off. I'm a little sweaty, wipe sweat off. When you're in middle school, you douse yourself in Axe. And I'm going downstairs.
Right.
So he already hits the guy.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh my goodness. So one of my best friends, Cody, and this is how me and Cody really became friends. He ran up to the other guy and grabbed me. No, you're not going nowhere. My man. So I'm like, Dad, like you gonna hit him without me? So I hear his friend chirping, bang, cracking. Just for talking. So this one kid I grew up with, his name was Nate. He like, you gonna do that? Why you gonna do that? You a punk. I said, you gonna get the same issue if you say something stupid out your mouth again. So now I'm heated. I'm what they say now, they activated. So I'm a hot
Trigger.
Whatever. Activated trigger. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm triggered.
They say activated on the East Coast.
Something. But I'm hot now. So I'm supposed to be going to music class. So I get there and I forgot something in my locker. So I'm like, Miss Bean, I'm gonna go to the locker room. I'm gonna go to my locker and sign out the pass. And who do I see outside?
The principal.
No, my homie Pooh. So now we hot. So I'm like, yo, let's take a walk with me up to the 3rd floor. That's where our locker was. And guess who comes out?
The principal.
No, not the principal.
Damn it.
The kid that he hit. And like I said, I feel bad for what happened, but you know, he hit him again. Boy had braces. He got caught in his braces.
Oh, that's the worst. Yeah.
He got caught in braces. So they ended up going home. And so I'm thinking everything will be sweet. I mean, the first period, the second period, music, nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
Third period, nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth period, I get called to the office.
Yeah.
Then you go to the principal.
Man,
Now it's the principal.
so I'm in there, and they're trying to be like, oh, what happened? They said, send me to ISS.
Mm-hmm.
I see a cop coming,
Uh-oh.
and he's talking to me. He's like, yeah, I'm like, what you doing here? He said, hope I'm not here for you. I'm like, I hope not either, but after that, I probably, whatever. So I'll be in ISS, and, we're probably in there for maybe 4 or 5 days before they finally suspended us.
Mm-hmm.
So they finally suspended, so it was like 10 days suspension.
Damn.
Had a meeting with the school board to see if I was gonna get expelled. And I'm like, this is crazy. So I go there and I'm suspended for 10 days. Do 5, I meet with the school board. They decided not to expel me, but they restarted my suspension.
No.
They restarted my suspension. Yeah.
So it's like a 20-day suspension
20
now?
days. I came back to school with 2 days left.
Did you pass?
Yeah, I passed. I went on to the 8th grade, baby. I went on, but then that's when I had to go down to this in Norristown, Pennsylvania, and I had to go to the probation office, and I got put on probation.
You were put on probation when you were like 13 years old?
Bro, I got put on probation, but it wasn't the type of joint where they got they got to get piss tests or got to clock you.
No, yeah, it's a complete behavioral probation thing.
But I'm like, man, I got 6 months, and I'm like, damn, I hope they don't, because I was supposed to go to Virginia Beach with my homie, which I was able to, but it just sucked, man. Then I had to come back and do community service.
Of course.
Me and my friend Cody, because Cody held him, and the other guy got did the fight with. But again, at that point, say it again.
What happened to Boo?
Oh, he was on probation too, But again, like I said, we was young. We was just trying to stand out as the big bad guys at the school, and at that time I didn't know there's other ways to get respect in there. Yeah.
Yes, by being kind and doing good works.
Yeah, but at that time, the thing is, I was always kind and I tried to do good work, but just like I was still in search of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking for every excuse to make up to,
Yeah.
justify why I did those things, and it just was nothing that I could do.
While on probation, were you allowed to play football? Or?
Yeah, but it was summertime. Well, I wasn't thinking about football, man. I wasn't thinking about it. I just was, play fun rumble.
So is it a hot boy summer right now or a hot girl summer?
Say it one more time. Nah, but at the time, even I was just chilling, man.
Hot boy summer is the correct answer.
I was chilling. Okay, I'm glad you. I run the front. See, I just try to avoid it. Nah, but it was cool, man. I was having fun. Me and my best friend Desmond, we was always together every day.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just regular. So, but this is going into my transformation.
Okay.
8th grade. The 8th grade was the most pivotal year for me because I already knew the reputation I had.
Right.
Everybody loved my
They
brother.
allowed you back in the same middle school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I knew the reputation I had, so teachers was already on edge with me.
Okay.
So me and my friend Cody,
Mm-hmm.
we was all in the same class. So I'm like, I'm really not gonna pass. Like, how the hell am I gonna pass this? And I got everybody who's funny, everybody who's somebody in the same class. But again, I had to live up to that standard because everybody loved my brother. Everybody knew who my brother was.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this teacher called, her name is Fabian. She's my history teacher. And it was just something about her presence that just made you want to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And just with that, I met Miss Kakarika, who was a school aide at the time. She was always in that class. And then, I knew who Miss Hawthorne was. She's the secretary for the vice president, principal.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mr. Hawthorne, not Mr. Hawthorne, Mr. Algio, that was my 8th grade coach. and my 6th grade teacher, he was always in there and he was always talking. But she called me in the office and she asked me, and it's kind of the best thing she could ask me. And she was like, I know in the past you struggled with school. Do you need extra help? Do you want to test and see if you'll test in the special ed? So I'm like, decision, do I want the easy way out? And just like, man, they can tell me the answer. I can take my test and but it just wasn't what I wanted. And I said, no, I'm not a dummy. You know what I mean? I said, I'm not stupid. I just didn't do the work. And that kind of triggered something in my head, because now if I'm like, damn, she's asking me this question to people who really think I'm dumb. And it kind of, changed my mind. And, this time I'm like, I'm in the 8th grade. They pulled me up to the freshman football team. So I'm still playing with all my best friends. I played with Pop Warner. So I'm like, I got to live up to the hype now. And it took off from there. Like, all the teachers fell in love with me. I started surrounding myself with the right people, doing well in school. It was a complete 180, because a 360, that means I'd have landed back in the same spot I was.
Right, you take the test and you test it.
So I could change it around.
What a kick in the balls, though.
Oh, it was definitely like,
holy shit. What a kick in
what they think
the
about
balls. Yeah, you get called in the office, you're like, oh, hey, how's everything going? And then, hey, do you want to test this?
Yeah. I didn't know how to answer it, but it was the best thing that could have been asked to me, because it made me realize where my flaws were academically.
Kicked you right in the dick. That is just.
So yeah, Miss Fagan Miss Hawthorne really always kept on me, gave me those motherly talks that she used to have with her kids when she went through the program.
So like before though, you were just kind of lazy, right? And you're just like, I just want to play football. And like your grades slipped, but that laziness turned into like a legitimate view of you as somebody who could potentially be, educationally challenged.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like these teachers, they seen something in me that I didn't see myself. And same thing goes for my best friend Cody, my homie Kayvon. They seen something in me that they seen something in me that was just.
Is Aries okay?
Let me check.
Is Aries? I know it has to do with Aries. Is their dog? He's a Shih Tzu.
Yeah, Shih Tzu.
Right. Sweetest little nugget. Oh my god.
Yeah, you like having it on top of your
I
desk.
call him Potato. Yeah. He looks like a little potato.
Just kicks it on the keyboard.
He's like thick.
Do you have him like type on the keyboard just to make it look like you're productive?
No, but he often walks on my keyboard. He sent an inadvertent email today.
Nice.
Yeah, and he just he's just terrific.
Yeah, he's a great dog, man. He's good.
He like tried to eat my banana today. It was still in the peel, but he's tiny. He picked up the whole thing. I was very impressed. The banana probably weighs as much as he does.
Yeah,
Close to it.
yeah. He gets into it, but he's a great dog.
Yeah, he's cool.
But those teachers, they seen something in me, and it kind of took light of me. So they moved me up to the freshman football team, and that's when I picked people on notice that I was pretty good. I was starting running back and starting outside linebacker, and I was scoring 3-4 touchdowns a game, and we was really good.
Right.
But football came and went, and then I finally decided to play basketball.
Oh.
So they moved me up to the freshman basketball team. And I was all right, I was pretty good. But I started seeing that I was excelling in everything that I could put my mind to. Track, I broke all the track records in middle school, and I fought by one team,
Did you feel like being involved in sports also helped that? Because if you knew you were doing something, it was okay, my grades had to be on point. Because it seemed like you were doing great when football season was around, but then once that.
It helped. It definitely helped, because you can't fail more than 2 classes.
Okay.
At any point at a time when grades are ran. So if I got two Fs and they run grades, progress reports, I'm done. Yeah. Until I can show that and pull them up. So
I've got like the perfect caption for this episode.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say it. It's just gonna be displayed.
All right.
But I've got the perfect caption for this episode.
Remember it.
But it worked out. But I don't think that me being involved with sports just I think I just loved being a part of something that was bigger than myself.
Okay.
And knowing that I had people relying on me to do well, and that I didn't want to let myself down.
Right.
That I had to do well, and just to make sure I didn't tarnish the reputation my brother built in that school.
Mm-hmm. At this point, your brother was only playing basketball, though, right?
Yeah, my brother's playing basketball now. He's at 8th grade. He's a senior in high school.
Okay.
So, now I'm about to go through another major transition because he's about to go to college.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
The only one.
Yeah. Well, damn. At that point, he was already in college. He's 05.
Yeah, I was
So
going to say he's 4 years older than
He's
you.
already
Yeah,
in college,
so
so he left to go to college, and I'm just like, damn, like, he's coming to school, he's coming to my games, and I'm pitting on, and it just made me feel great.
that's nuts.
Yeah, it was crazy because I really didn't know how good I was going to be. I just was having fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the season, Coach Pennypacker, he was the head coach at the time at my school. He came up to me. He's like, do you want to come up and play varsity football? I didn't know what varsity football is. I'm like, yeah, I'm with it. I want to play. So it's like, I started lifting weights. So I started lifting with the varsity team when I started.
Here we go. All right.
And so, just getting around the fellas. And
So you went from 140 to 145.
so they
You
actually.
just come Fuck you.
I was like, at that time, I was like 150.
Hey.
You know what I mean?
You ever heard of his third fight?
Oh,
Nah, but he asked me, and I'm like, yeah, it's cool. So I started lifting weights with them,
Mm-hmm.
and they tried to put me at receiver.
Uh-oh.
And the thing that sucks is we run a triple option.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you throw the ball? You don't.
Okay.
We ran the ball every play, but they put me at receiver because I was fast. I went against their starting corner. He was a senior. Burned him.
Burned him.
It wasn't even close.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody they gave him shit into that whole season. But my coach went to West Virginia,
Okay.
and he was like, "Do you know who Pat White and Steve Slayton is?" I'm like, "No, who was it?" Mind you, I probably just watched their game when they played Georgia or somebody in a bowl game, but I didn't know who they were. And
It's crazy how you're so good at the sport, but
you kind of really don't care. Yeah.
I didn't watch football.
I'm like getting the same thing here. It's like you're just naturally good, but at the same time, it's like, who?
Yeah,
Like
I did not watch it. I'll probably watch.
So how did you play receiver if you weren't like I don't want to learn plays? At that point, did you start learning plays?
I just they told me what to run. I ran it. But when he came up to me after lifting one day, he asked me if I knew who Pat White was.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, it was me and my friend Micah. Micah is Troy Polamalu's cousin. So that's one of my best friends.
if you don't know, it's a legendary safety for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sorry, just in case if you didn't know. Anyway, continue.
So that's my best friend, and
What?
yeah, that's my guy. So
Natural.
No, but obviously, if that's you said his nephew,
his cousin.
his cousin.
His first cousin.
I'm pretty sure with one phone call. I actually met Troy once at a pool hall. He lives in like La Jolla, I think.
He lives in he lives somewhere out here. It's not La Jolla, but he used to.
Del Mar.
So, I don't know. I just seen pictures of his house, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, he was playing at on cue billiards in the Mesa.
He's a regular guy.
Yeah, he really is a regular schmegular guy.
Yeah. So we had a situation where you had 2 freshmen that you're pulling up to play varsity.
Mm-hmm.
No quarterback.
Oh.
Because we going our freshman year, we had a senior, but didn't know who was going to be his backup. And we don't throw the ball, so you want your best athletes on the field.
Right.
So he like, I want you to try quarterback. Never played quarterback day in my life. Never took a snap.
Mm-hmm.
And he threw me in the fire. And that first year, I'm starting corner and doubling back at being backup for quarterback. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
No.
And I was just like, man, I hated it. I was ready to quit. But defense, I was doing pretty well. I ended up with 12 interceptions my freshman year. Made everything, All-American, All-State, All-League.
And then freshman year, 12 picks, and when you're playing the backup
And I'm just like, I didn't know what to do at quarterback, but I kept learning. And in my sophomore year, I'm like, I gotta learn this because I'm the starter now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, everything's right. I gotta, it sucks when you're an underclassman and you got seniors that you gotta play with, and they're relying on you to carry their senior season
Mm-hmm.
to be something special.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was hard. It was a lot of pressure. But man, it was fun because in 2008 was kind of like we put the league on notice.
Okay.
That me, my homie Preston, Micah, they called us the three-headed monster. Ran a triple option, and we had our biggest test our first game. First game we lost. No, second game we lost against Wizard. But after that, we didn't lose until the playoffs. And I mean, I had 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yards passing. Mike had 1,000 yards rushing. Preston was just everything. Still had 5, 6, 7 interceptions on defense. So things are happening now. At this point in time, I already had my first scholarship offer from Villanova.
Oh.
Again, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what All-State was. So going into junior year now,
It's like the guy that shows up and gets nowhere. Like, okay, cool. Let's go. What's for lunch?
That's what it felt like. Cause I'm like, man, but it was great because I'm going through it with another person. My friend Micah, everybody, we're all getting recruited. So
You were all state though for quarterback or corner?
Corner.
All state corner.
Yeah, corner. I mean, we had a lot of great quarterbacks in Pennsylvania. There was a lot of great quarterbacks. Yeah. But so I'm all state for corner. So then my junior year, it's a lot of hype. I mean, it's a lot of hype. Where we ran the league last year, the year before, where we beat this quarterback. He went to Brick Valley, but he ended up being the D2 Heisman for D2 when he went to Shippensburg. We killed that team. So now it's like everybody's going. It's us. So we got three backs. We got another back who came in, Kayvon, who's did well. So my junior year, we were on the table. Again, another 1,000-yard rushing season, 4 or 5 picks in the season, and we go 14-1. We lost in the state semis or something like that. But now this is when I'm getting LSU offers and South Carolina and Michigan State, every team in the Big East, West Virginia, Pitt, Rutgers, UConn. I'm getting offers out the Kazoo, and there's a lot of offers that I had that I really didn't know about because most teams know I didn't want to go far because I had my grandmother who was taking care of me. I didn't want to leave.
Got it. Oh, yeah.
And everything. So I wanted to be close to home.
Yeah.
So that's that's when it happened in my junior year in the summer, July of my junior year, going into my senior year. That's when I committed to the University of Pittsburgh before going to West Virginia. So it's crazy. So
I was gonna say, wait a minute.
yeah, it's a plot twist. Yeah, I ended up going to committing. I wanted to be a doctor at that point in time.
Whoa.
I wanted to be a pediatrician, and so I went there. UPMC is a great hospital, great med school. So I wanted to do it, but at the same time, it's like I'm doing well in school. Everybody loves me. I'm spending time with the special needs kids and just trying to do everything to kind of build my brand, but at the same time be authentic while doing it. Because I didn't want any acknowledgement, anything. I helped put together a program in school called SNAP, Student Needs Assistance Program, who people who are dealing with bullying, depression, anything. Yeah. You kind of mentor to them.
And at this point in time, I think New Boys released You're a Jerk, and that's what was important to me.
Yeah.
But
that was
it was. Yeah, your junior year, it was about 08, 09 maybe.
Yeah, that was by the time.
Yeah. So can you see the differences of important things here?
It was for me. It was just at this point in time, people knew what I was about as a man more than an athlete, and that's what mattered most to me because I didn't care what I did athletically.
That was a lot of growing from age to senior.
Yeah, I didn't care how people perceived me.
I think that's like more growing that I've done in my life.
So you grew. How tall are you? About 6'4"? You grew a lot.
That is. Yes, I did. But that's not what I mean. Wow.
But and again, it comes down to.
So you went from being the bully, the dude who just beat up Devin. Rest in peace.
No, Devin's still here. Devin's still here. But Devin
to being the guy who's creating programs for kids who are bullied.
Yeah, it was amazing because they put me in a good situation where I built up a good reputation, did well. They put me with a program called PHRC, Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission, who We worked with the Senate. We worked with NAACP and HUD and stuff like that.
What is going on right now? Anyway, okay.
So it was amazing because we was
And on the side, I played football.
it was that was an added plus, but it's like, man, you get to see different things, different problems. And I was one of the only 2 reps that were students. Everybody else was like 50, 60s, and people, some high name people. So it was great to win an award that was presented by the Senate. My 8th grade year, my senior year, it was pretty dope, man. But but again, I don't do a lot of things for the acknowledgments.
What is happening?
What happened was
The growth.
What happened was I took the right path, and I had a great mentor, my brother.
At like this point in your life, 2 years prior to where you are at this point in the story, you were on academic probation.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were on a 20-day suspension.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right, let's just say that again for the record, though. You went from that in 2 years being awarded something from the Senate.
Absolutely, because at that point in time, I knew that I couldn't do everything by myself. I didn't have to be much on
Okay. I guess the people who you want in a minute, but I guess the people who accomplish the most are the ones that talk the least, right? So you were kind of more showing up and not talking about showing up.
I think the kids now say less.
Yeah,
Say less. Say.
But
great song.
Yes. For me, it was my actions did the talking for me. And people, when you move a certain way and you do the right thing, people take notice to what you do instead of what you say.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I didn't care about the first 15 minutes or 10 minutes of class, going to sociology class, and what I cared about was leaving that and going to the lunchroom and go sitting down for 10 minutes with the special needs kids. That mattered. Because if I don't acknowledge them, who will? If I don't make them feel regular, who will? Because they eat at a certain table every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I totally get that. Yeah.
So it's like who will? But what it did was it created something where now people are taking notice. Now they're trying to be more involved and reaching out to them and going to say hi and just making their day.
You set an example because you were probably the coolest guy in school at this point, right? Starting quarterback, corner, all state. Senators know you first name basis. You're shaking hands.
Jason Davis.
You're kissing babies. You're hanging out with Trina and Trick Daddy. What else you do? Yeah, but and you take the time, 5, 10 minutes, 7 minutes, however many minutes, to hang out with kids who probably don't have any friends, probably have learning disabilities, probably might even have physical deformities. Awesome. I mean,
can you take us back to that first time you sat with them though? Like, what was their reaction?
Did they think you were gonna beat them up?
Yeah, I thought they was gonna beat me up. I thought they was gonna beat me up because my buddy Josh, he was pretty strong. Brother Josh is strong, man. But he was my first time going there.
He was 155.
My first time going there, and I'll see them in the hallways and everything, but I kind of knew the duty aides and everything that was always with them because some of them ran track with us. So you build a relationship there.
Mm-hmm.
But they know who I am just because of sports and everything. I see them around, I speak to them. But the first day I went there, go sit with them, they was like, I don't want to say in shock, but they was like, they was the most appreciative people I've ever been around in my life because they don't think that people notice them.
Right.
So at that point, I was like, it's my mission, it's my duty to make sure they know they matter. So any function I went to, I was always I'd say hi to them. We went to fall ball, took a lot of pictures with them. Prom, I danced with one of them, and just like different things, man. Because it's they don't get to live the standard regular life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something's wrong with them. And for me, it mattered to me to be around them and to grow and just understand them. You know what I mean? And treat them regular because that's all they ever want to be.
to college? He's already grown, but
Yeah. So you signed with
Pitt.
Pitt.
So Pitt, you know, they did when I tell you their recruiter, man, Brian Angelico, I think he's with like Tampa Bay or something right now, or Green Bay, as a tight end coach. He was probably one of the best recruiters I've ever been around, and he was consistent. He made you feel like you mattered, and I didn't get the feel where it was just, oh, we just want you to come here. As soon as you get here, it's a different story, because it's how a lot of universities are.
right.
But West Virginia also recruited me well too. We had Coach Gerlavich. Coach Gerlavich is the most blunt, straightforward guy you ever meet in your life. If you watch Last Chance U on Netflix, if you watch Coach Brown and how direct he is with his players, no matter what he says out of his mouth, that's how direct Coach Gerlavich was. Now, he didn't say some disrespectful things like that.
Yeah.
Gerlavich wasn't like that. But he let me know, like, listen, if anything happens, you always have a scholarship here. You know, he did a very good job recruiting me. So when Coach Weinstead was forced to resign, and then they got Coach Hayward, and Coach Hayward came from Miami, Ohio, and then he got hit with a domestic violence case.
Okay.
So I'm like, listen, and I held off. I held off for a long time because I was fully vested in that. I had to leave because at that time I can't go to a program that's been tarnished and disrespected like that, and be a part of it.
Yeah.
I turned down offers from Penn State and things like that. So I ended up calling West Virginia, like, listen, I'm coming here, and that's that was it. And I didn't make a big noise about it until signing day.
Okay.
Then I finally signed it and sent in my LOI, and then that was it. And I ended up in Morgantown, which was the best thing I've ever done in my life.
So you didn't do a big party and then had 3 hats on there and said which one to pick you.
Nah, they need to.
So your college career was phenomenal. You graduated with a degree.
Yep, graduated degree in sociology and anthro. It wasn't what I thought I wanted to do initially.
Yeah.
Because again, I was fully vested to go into biology and go to med school and things like that. But the reality is, as a college athlete, it's very, very, very hard to pursue that. Like I had so much power, so much respect to those who do pursue it, that or engineering, something that's really time consuming and both mentally and physically, because that stress can take a toll on your body too, especially when you're working out and going to practice and think I go do count 17 or something, like something crazy.
Yeah. Averaging 4 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah, so it's like when you see people doing that, you're like, man, that's what you got a lot of respect for you. So, but me, I didn't know how to balance that out with athletics, weightlifting, studying, and then trying to have a social life as well.
Yeah, well, you still got 2 degrees though, sociology and anthropology. Like that's crazy.
Well, that's they tied them both in one, but for me, it was interesting to see how society impacts people, and I kind of, took notice, and it was interesting. But it's like I was doing well, I excelled in it because I was taking care of the little things. So, but my college career didn't start out how it should have. I had a shoulder injury coming into college. Had it re-aggravated, got a surgery my freshman year. Missed my whole freshman year, had a red shirt. And then coming into my red shirt freshman year, I'm behind the ball, because now, coming into spring ball.
Class. You got the new recruits that came in.
New recruits that come, and they was loving to the freshmen at the time, my homie Ricky and my homie Nana. So they got the bid before me, going with Pat and Broderick. They was the seniors, or juniors and seniors. So I literally had to claw my way from the bottom, going to the Big 12, first year in the Big 12. So I didn't really see any action until maybe week 9, 10, going against Oklahoma. You're going against a powerhouse, Oklahoma. I'm just, but me, I always decided to start doing the right things.
Was that Adrian Peterson there?
No, that's when they had Landry Jones, Kenny Stills, who else? They had a really good team. But I got thrown in the fire. But I kind of, noticed some things. We had a coach Robert. Don't want to say he's a bad coach, but I just don't, he wasn't the right fit for that position for us. Great guy, great family. He had us over us a lot. I can never say a bad thing about him as a person. But as a coach, for me personally, it just wasn't the right fit to get us to play at the level that we can play. I'm not saying that he can go somewhere else and do anything. I mean, the guy's a genius. He graduated from Harvard Law. You know what I mean? So very smart, very, very hardworking. But then again, at more adversity hit. So I became a starter from that Oklahoma game for the rest of the season.
Sophomore year. Or fair.
So the adversity hits. We play against Syracuse in the Pinstripe Bowl.
Okay.
Maybe middle of the first quarter, maybe after the second or third drive, I go out and make a tackle on the running back, and my cleat gets stuck in the ground. Mind you, we playing on soft turf. It's wet, and I tore my ACL.
Oh, come on. You don't come back from that.
Yeah, tore my ACL. So now it's like, damn, hurt again. Worked so hard to come back from the shoulder, now got to worry about his knee. And, got surgery on January 18th. And when I tell you it's the most, cruel rehab ever,
Yeah.
it was terrible. I mean, I was in pain. I felt bad for anybody that was helping me because I was just an asshole. But my trainers did well. We had the best strength class in the country. Mike Joseph and his staff, him, Darryl Bauer, Chad Snodgrass, Coach McAdam. They were great. They got me right. Darryl, he's the one kind of changed my mindset as far as how to work.
Right.
And he trained me, and I didn't really like working out with anybody else but him because he pushed me to another level. So.
Do you double red shirt or no?
So what can happen is you can get a regular red shirt, and if it's something where you miss like your senior year or junior year or something like that, or something like that that really affects you, you can get like a medical red shirt or a gray shirt or something like that. But I didn't need that.
Okay.
So I get back after spring. Now we're going. It's another class, and now we're going against the Kevin Whites and Mario Offers and stuff like that. So I come out. Everybody's telling him like, "Oh, I'm a technician." So he wants to go against me. I'm in a knee brace. First play back on the field. He throws a fade, and I can't even get it. Like he takes off.
Okay.
He takes off. It's touchdown easy. So it kind of messes with my mental because you can go through a 6-month rehab process, but the mental part is where it's hard to get back. So that's when I started. We had another coach Brian Mitchell. He's now with Virginia Tech.
So in the span of 3 years, you went through how many coaches now?
So I started off with Coach Lott.
Yeah.
Then we went from Coach Lockwood to Coach Roberts. Then we went from Coach Roberts to Coach Mitchell. So I had 3 coaches throughout college.
Okay.
Last one was good.
Right.
Last one was the best one. He went to BYU.
That's
Then he
stayed a
went,
while.
then he went to up in the Falcons and stuff like that. So he had a lot of knowledge. But for him, it was more so, how can I help Terrell Chestnut, the person,
Okay.
the student, and the athlete.
Athlete was last.
Because that's the little things. Being a good person is when you're at a big university, it's the hardest thing because it's easy to get into everything. Student is that's why we came to school. Be a student athlete. You're getting a free education. If you blow it, if you're not a first round draft pick, second round draft pick, and you don't come out of there with a degree, and you go, not to say that people don't make it afterwards, but that's people that's getting guaranteed money.
Yeah.
If you don't take advantage of setting yourself up for life after football, where you can set up and be the example
Right.
for your future children to listen, pursue this, to take care of the little things, you got the best of both worlds. Something's wrong with you. So, my coach, he was great. He taught me a lot of great techniques. So I started really learning how to break down film, working my techniques on how to stop receivers, and season came around and I wasn't ready. So I went to my coach and I'm like, listen, I'm in tears because I'm a competitor. And I'm like, listen, I'm not ready to be out there. I don't want to put any bad film out there. I don't want to hurt the team because now I'm pitting the team before me. Put me on any special team, put me on all special teams, and I'll earn my keep there. But I'm not ready to be out there in the big corner. I'm just not. Hardest decision I've had to make, but it was the right one because now they seen that I was a team first guy. And, I'm excelling on all special teams, kickoff, punt return, kick return, kickoff. And so now they learned that they can trust me. So going into my junior year, my redshirt senior year, well, my redshirt junior year is when everything started to shift. Second year with Coach Mitch, and great off season. You know, I'm probably up to 189.
Oh, what's up, Joe? 189.
Probably like 189. And I had a pretty good spring. And I had to compete against Icky and Brad and Trav Bell. So it was pretty intense because they're all upperclassmen, and I was the only underclassman besides my homie Darryl Worley, who already had his side locked. And at the same time, I still got Ricky Rumpf and Nana Kyron, who are very capable as well. So I'm like, I have to like, you know, really claw. So I had a great camp, a really good camp, and I didn't know what was going to happen, but I know I was making a lot of plays, and you know, that's what it was. So we opened up the year with Alabama, and Alabama's a powerhouse. Everybody knows that, and they gave me the nod to go start. And from there, I didn't look back, and it kind of like, you know, it was a snowball effect. I was making plays against them, so I knew I could play with the best. And you know, it was great. And I was just, you know, just leading and trying to be the best I can, and just, you know, continue to take care of the little things off the field, you know, volunteering and doing things like that. But as a player, that's when it took off, and you know, we was ranked in the country, played against TCU, lost, but you know, going against a talent like that, you know, I had a defensive touchdown, strip six, and you know, college game day was there, so it kind of took off there. But now people know who I am going into my senior year. So now the hype's there, where we have Carl Joseph, who was a first round pick. We have Nick Wachowski, who's a fourth round pick. We have Darryl Worley, who's a third round pick. We have, you know, on offense, we have Wendell Smallwood, who's a fifth round pick. KJ Dillon, who's a fifth round pick. Let's see, we had a lot of people. I think that year I was only 5 that got drafted out of my class, but of the 22 seniors we had, you know, 19 of us went to the NFL. But we put people on notice because senior year we led the conference in the country in interceptions. So we did well, and it's just like, no matter how much adversity I went through, you know, I just didn't let it define me. And you know, and people just don't understand, like, dude, I don't know how you did it. It's like, I have no choice. This is who I am.
Right.
You know, it's not about what happened, it's how I can bounce back.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what kind of, you know, that's kind of helping right there, man. It's just, you know, when you look back at what happened to me when I was a child, it kind of shaped me to be able to overcome anything that was ever thrown at me. You know what I mean? But you know, luckily I was blessed to live out a dream that I didn't know was a dream, because I didn't have any goals to really go to the NFL. You know, after college was, you know, after college I was like,
Yeah, so because that's kind of an interesting story, right? So you graduate college, like you finish out your senior year, and then you place yourself on free agency, and then you get picked up that way, right?
Yeah, so it's like, so for me it was, you know, you go through the draft 7 rounds. You know, the pre-draft process was cool. I, you know, met with many teams, and you know, I had maybe 15 teams call me during the pre-draft, make sure they got the right numbers and stuff like that. But I think for me it was just that I had the injury history. That's why I was going to get drafted, because it wasn't that I couldn't play. It's just that it's like buying a used car. Just never know which one to get.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Carfax.
So I understood that. So again, I wasn't really worried about playing football ever. I was ready, like, man, I'm gonna be a coach. I think I'll be a pretty damn good coach, to be able to help these kids, not just with football, but with life.
Right. Because of that last coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he's done something to me he did something to me that no other coach has since I was in high school. And you know, he just took an interest of me as a person, and it wasn't just me; it was everybody that he touched. The thing that stood out for me with him was, you know, one of my academic counselors was like, "Oh, you're not going to class." I'm like, "Listen, I get up every morning at 6:30 to go lift with Mike. Class at 8, lifts an hour. I gotta take a shower, eat. Eating is mandatory, and then walk from here to Evansdale, Kansas, which is In the cold, it's gonna turn on. In the hot, in the heat, it's gonna be like, all right, we gonna get there. You get over with.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you can do it in 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Okay. My coach put on his jacket and walked with me to the class and seen that it was no way possible that I'll get there on time. No way possible. And I can get there, but you get eye clickers to take attendance. I'll miss the attendance question, and then so technically I'm not there. So I dropped class, but he realized like by him doing that, he was able to go jump the bat. He was willing to go to bat for us, even when nobody else was. You know, he took a chance on me, knowing that other coaches didn't want me to, didn't want me to be there, because they just didn't know. It wasn't that they didn't think I could play; they just didn't know if I'll be durable enough.
Yeah.
And my coach went to bat. Like, listen, I'm gonna play the best person, and he's the best person. So he inspired me to want to, get in coaching or just want to be, inspire others as far as, that life aspect of doing little things.
Yeah, there's life besides football.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I had the year I had, and I, worked hard, had a pretty solid pro day, I put myself in a good position to, hey, why not give it a shot?
Right.
And I was getting calls in the 5th round, 6th round. Teams wanted to take me, but again, other needs, and it's just like, what else? You know what I mean? So after the draft happens, we're trying to figure out what's next, because you, as a free agent, you get to dictate where you want to go. As long as the team wants you, you get to dictate that. So I felt the best bet was to come out here to San Diego and be with the Chargers, because none of their corners were 6'2". They had Jason Verrett, they had Brandon Flowers, who was all 5'11".
Yeah, Flowers. Yeah.
And
So-
Cameron.
Jammer was way going.
Okay.
He was going by then. So it's the best interest for me, the best possibility for me to make the team. We had my other homie Trev, who's still with them now. He was in my draft class. Came out here with my homie Shaq. He was a linebacker. He came from West Virginia too. But it was more adversity. So I came out here. Rookie minicamp happened, and in the NFL you have true walkthroughs. It's not like a jog through, or in college you got to walk through with a slow pace. You got a true walkthrough. We had a tryout guy come in, and he took off 100 miles per hour. I'm like, yo,
Chill.
You can't just let somebody run past you on film. It makes you look bad. So I took off, popped my hamstring.
Oh, come on. All right.
Right.
All right. So hamstring done. First day of
It
camp.
was like the third day. It was like third day of rookie minicamp. So it wasn't a big deal. We rehabbed and everything. I just didn't go through much of the OTAs. I just did a lot of film. Picked up the playbook pretty fast. I missed the first day because got to go through physicals, rehab, X-rays, MRIs, and stuff like that. And I missed the first day, so I went in that next morning, looked at film, looked at the playbook, and I picked it up like that. And at that point, he's like asking people about the nickel position, and I was answering the questions faster than them, so they put me at the nickel too. So I was doubling back at corner and nickel. So I was rehabbing. So we come down to mandatory minicamp. I'm participating in everything. I wanted to make sure I got on film, so I could still move, and so they wouldn't release me. And so they let us off the whole month of July. So this was in June. The whole month of July, you really get off before you come back to camp. So I go home, I'm still rehabbing, being around my family. At this point, my grandmother, she was fighting. She had beat cancer twice, and then she had developed COPD. And so she's like in a very bad state, but she's still uplifting. She's still doing pretty well. I just need the oxygen with her and everything.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm trying to spend my time with her. So, we go through there. I'm training, everything, doing well. I'm feeling great. Going back to camp, feeling really good. I fly back on the 28th of July to come back here. So I go from Philly to Chicago, and it's storming there. Storming. So I called a travel guy for the Chargers. I'm like, listen, my flight got delayed again, got canceled. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So he's like, it's another airport in Chicago that has a departure time at this time. We can get you on there. How far is it away from O'Hare? 35, 40 minutes. I'm gonna miss that flight. So I'm like, listen, you gotta figure something out. Get me accommodated in the room or whatever. And he's just stalling on it, stalling. So I'm talking to people at the airport, they gave me a flight from Arizona. I mean from Chicago to Arizona, maybe midnight. So we take off. I get to Arizona at midnight. Mind you, ate one time there. Had maybe a bottle of water or two that I had to last through the whole night. So I get to Arizona at 12. I'm like, man, I'm not sleeping in the airport because you never know, somebody try to take your bag. And so I'm sitting in the airport and I maybe fall asleep for an hour. Flight takes off at 6:30. I land in San Diego at 7:45. Gotta be at the facility by like 8:30 for weigh-ins.
Come on.
For weigh-ins. So I can't sleep. I'm hungry. Gotta go to physicals, weigh-in. Then in the weigh-ins, if you're overweight, you gotta pay $600 a pound. That you're overweight. Yeah. So I'm like, damn. I was heavy too. I was like 187.
How did they base your weight on?
From your opening day weight, and then they gotta give you a weight of what you can come back by. At. So I'm like, damn, like I didn't want to be that guy. I'm like, damn, I didn't even make no money really yet, and I gotta pay y'all money. Like, I can't do it. So I make weight. I finally get to eat. I finally get to eat. And at that point in time, my stomach so shrunk that I wasn't really hungry, but I had to force myself.
Right.
But I'm more tired than anything, so we got meetings all day. And first practice was at 8 o'clock the next morning, so I got meetings all day. We don't get out of there till 8, 9 o'clock. So I go in there, I call my family, let them know I'm good. Finally go to sleep, wake up maybe 6:30. Maybe earlier than that, 6:30. Like I come in, get loose and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm dehydrated. I'm not in the best situation. And tight. So we're going through warm-ups. I told James, he's the head trainer at the time, what's his name? Forget his name, it's just other trainer. Yeah, I'm feeling tight, so Marco, I'm feeling tight. Can you help me stretch out? Get me loose. They just said keep moving. So I'm going through warm-ups, going through the DB drills, getting to the team. And my homie Don Williams, he ran a post corner. And I sat on the post, but I was in good position to do a speed turn and stay on top of it. When I sped turn, I stepped, hamstring pop again, same thing. Same one. Worse than the first time around. So it's a business. So I got hurt. They called me off the field just because it was just terrible. It's like a pretty severe strain, almost there. It's a business. They weighed me injured. So now I'm like, okay. So they bring in another person the next day. That's how much of the business influence. So now I'm like this, okay. Gotta get rehab. I'm like, okay, so now it's like this is my number one thing because I gotta be able to get healthy so I can go make another team.
Yeah.
So they try to get me to settle because this is what they try to do in the league. They try to get hurt and they weigh you injured. They try to get you to settle on like, okay, listen, we think you're gonna take 4 weeks. It's gonna take you 4 weeks to get healthy. 4 weeks in the postseason is how much? I mean, 4 weeks in the preseason is how much? $4,000.
Okay.
I'm not gonna not be healthy and just settle and say I'm healthy and take $4,000 because I wasn't injured before I got here.
Right.
So it's your job to get me healthy. So I went to a second opinion. They said it's gonna take me 8 or 9 weeks.
Oh shit.
So, so they do that and everything. So during this time, this is around September. 53-man rosters and everything came out. Practice squad came out, but at the same time, I'm still good because I'm on IR. They can't release me from IR if I'm not healthy and don't pass the physical. September 14th, that's when my grandmother passed away. So I'm like, damn, it's like a double whammy because I'm hurt. I got released technically. I'm still on the team. Then my grandmother passed away. So the morning that it happened, I remember like it's just got the phone call. So I'm like, I'm still gonna go and I'm gonna get rehab, but I was just so out of it.
Right.
That I told them that I'm not gonna do it. I'm just I just can't do it. And I told them I'm gonna leave town. So they try to use that. They try to use that as their advantage.
To not pay you recover.
They try to use that advantage by listen. Instead of you keep flying back and forth, why don't you sign this paperwork saying and we can part ways. You'll get paid for the rest of the week. And we can part ways. So I called my agent. Like, this is what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
He said, no, we're not doing that. So I go home and just for the weekend, just be around family. Then I come back that Monday, go back to rehab, everything, still messed up.
Yeah.
And then I got to fly back out for the it's like, I understand it's a business, but you gotta have some type of empathy, like y'all never lost somebody.
Right. Or is
You
that
know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So for y'all to try to be on that type of time, it's just crazy. That's where I lost a lot of respect for the trainers. Like James, he really put a bad taste in my mouth for that in that program. Even though I still got a lot of good friends that play there, but for them to do that as an organization, you know, I understand it's a business. I understand you don't want to keep paying people, but at the same time, when you know somebody lost somebody that pretty much raised them, and you know the situation,
Right.
and you try to get me signed off, knowing I'm not healthy,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy. So I get back from the funeral. So they, you know, just trying to do things. I'm like, yo, I'm not, you know, I'm doing everything they asked me to do. I'm complying to everything.
Right.
And you know, they're just, you know, they flip the script. They you know, they try to say, oh, he said this, I'm at this. Never said anything about percentage. I just said I'm not right.
Oh, yeah.
So they're trying to do things. I'm doing everything they asked me, and then they bring me in. They lifted my leg to see how much, you know, range I had. Then they took me upstairs to Ed's office, and that's when they released me officially. This is like maybe October. So I was there for a couple of weeks for, you know, the season. And I'm like, okay, cool. Call my agent. He's like, okay, we're gonna get another second opinion. This time it's gonna be through the NFLPA. We're gonna file a grievance, and that's what we did. So you know, they released me. I'm still grieving the death of my grandmother, and so I decided to go back to school and, you know, finish working on my master's. And I got with Mike Joseph and his strength staff, and I started, you know, working towards becoming a strength coach. But I didn't give myself enough time to really cope and grieve my grandma's death. It's just business as usual.
Yeah.
But it took a toll on me, and I started feeling very depressed. You know, I was with Annie at this time too, so it was like, you know, trying to balance a long distance relationship, and you know, it was a lot of you know, stuff that happened that just like, it was just a bad situation. So it's like, you know, trying to, damn. So she like, you know, and it wasn't fair to her, you know, trying to have a distance relationship in West Virginia, and she's in California. So she's like, listen, I can't be in this relationship if you're going to be all the way out there. You just see what it is. Like, you got to make up your mind. So it was whether I stay in West Virginia and just continue to soak in something, go home and just be another person that made it out and just came right back, or come out and chase something I really want, and that's happiness. So I took the bet on myself, even if that meant leaving something and being uncomfortable. And that's what I did. And you know, the rest has been history. So, you know, I came out here and just took a leap of faith, and it worked out. But you know, no matter how much I went through, more adversity came. You know, it's crazy.
You know it's not gonna stop, right?
Adversity never stops, man. That's my arch nemesis. But you know, it's just, you know, it's just something you gotta continue to deal with. And I was out here for a year. So from 2017, then 2018, and then you know, everything seems to be going well. You know, went and got a job at, you know, at LPL Financial, and you know, it was cool. It's a good company, good business to work for, and they help you get licensed and everything if you want to be a financial advisor. But you know, everything's going well. I'm like, damn, everything's, you know, going well. I'm happy. You know, everything's good. And then June 10th, my brother passed away. My oldest brother, my other brother. So
How?
he had struggled with epilepsy. Didn't know what the cause was until after he passed. You know, he ended up having heart disease. But you know, he's 31 years old.
That's so young.
Very young.
That's
Absolutely.
young, yeah.
Very shocking too, because it's like, talk to him every day. So when I got that call, it just messed my whole world up, because it's my best friend, it's my mentor, that was my father figure for my life. You know what I mean? So when I got that call, I'm just like, you know, panicking. Annie was in Barcelona. She was away for her study abroad. So I'm like, you know, it's crazy. So I flew home, and I just, you know, it's like, life took a new meaning to me now. It's not about, you know, it's not about the time of life you live, but what you do with that time while you live. Yeah. And, you know, it kind of made me look at things like, okay, I've been through so much. Why am I not using my story to influence or inspire somebody else? Because it's always, you know, again, back to what I said earlier, I always like to do something that represents a bigger picture than myself.
Yeah.
And what better way to honor those who took interest in me and help me out than to reciprocate what they did to me. You know what I mean? You know, my brother's funeral, he filled up a church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Both sides. And the best thing about him was nobody could say a negative thing about him. So it's like, for me, I was just like, man, like, how can I honor him? How can I continue to make him proud? How can I make my other brother proud? How can I make my grandmother proud? All while it took a lot of losses, man. It's like, but again, it started from birth. It was like, I was born into a situation that was unfavorable toward your average child. But, you know, it's not about that. It's about how you take it and how you apply the life lessons and make something about yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I look out here and it blows my mind. Because I know San Diego's paradise. I know there's rough places in here, but I just can't, it doesn't make sense to me when I see people out here that have it all and want to go down the wrong path. Why? Why? Life means nothing other than opportunity. So what are you going to do with the opportunity of living in one more day? What are you going to do with it one more day? Don't worry about tomorrow, because that's still going to be the best day because you get it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about yesterday because it already happened. But what you going to do right now with the opportunity that you have? That's how I try to live my life, man. It's like, how can I better somebody more than they were the day before? How can I make myself better? That's what it's always been about. I never, and it's, I guess it's kind of like, it's dumb, but I've never been put in a situation where I had to be selfish for myself. But me being selfish is helping others, because that's what I love to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
It's kind of crazy.
No, it's not. Like, you know, if your drug is helping other people, then you deciding to do that for yourself and excluding other options that you could spend your time is being selfish, but then in turn you're helping people, but it's really for yourself.
Exactly.
The end result is you helping people.
Absolutely, because like, man, I tell people all the time, it's like, oh, you know, there's no secret. Like, you can Google everything. Like, my contract in the NFL is worth over $1 million. You know what I'm saying? I could have been well off. Contract money is not guaranteed in the NFL, especially when you're undrafted. But it's like, you can make $1 million doing anything. You can make $100 million and still be unhappy.
Yes.
And still be unhappy.
Yeah.
But if I can fulfill my destiny, my purpose in life to help others and make an impact, a lasting impact, and leave my legacy that's going to be felt for forever, then fuck $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, that's just what it is. No, money is not everything to me.
No, not even close.
You know what I'm saying? If I can continue to make my family proud, continue to make myself proud, and build an empire, then I'm gonna do that. But I'm taking it. But you know, for me now, it's the time to take a bet on myself, to bring everything and put everything into, you know, fruition.
Well, I mean, after hearing your story, if there's anything that I've learned about you, is that you don't take any life lessons for granted.
Absolutely.
So, you know, whatever adversity you've seen recently or whatever you're gonna see in the near future, I know that the choices you make as a person are gonna be for the benefit of yourself and the people around you.
Absolutely.
I've got like so much faith in you, just as a person.
I appreciate that, man. I know adversity is going to hit.
More faith outside softball field.
No, yeah, he kills it, softball. Yeah, he's been the only person on our team to hit a home run.
Well, Robert just hit one this past weekend, but
did he?
Yeah, he hit one.
Yeah, they were like, okay,
yeah.
Well, he's the only one who bombed one. All right.
But
so,
you know, it's fun, man. It's just, you know, I just like to do different things, and you know, like I said, it's not about me anymore.
Yeah.
It's never been.
Well,
but yeah, you right at the get-go in high school, you found out it wasn't about you because you took the time to spend time with other people.
Yeah.
When you were the man, but you're like, no. Listen.
Well, before we sign off here, can you tell us like if you're working on any current projects that we should look out for, or if you have anything popping, like maybe a podcast or anything like that?
See, me, I want to get a podcast going. I want to start doing videos. I do daily videos on my Instagram now.
Yes.
Just to see the type of responses I get and just see where it can go. Because again, I have a story. Everybody has a story, but you know, I think my story would resonate with a lot of people.
I think so too.
And just, you know, for them to understand, like, just because something happens, you're not down and out. You know what I mean?
Look at you.
Hey, you know,
A lot happened.
but you know, again, it's like me. I try to make myself understand that there's somebody out there doing way worse than I am.
Yeah, always.
So,
And there's somebody that wants what you have.
exactly.
So it's vice versa.
So, you know, for me, you know, to be able to just continue to share my story, that's what it's about. Because, you know, that's something I want to do for a living, but it's also therapeutic for myself.
Right.
Because I get to say things and quote things and speak it. You know, I can talk to my girl all day about it.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, to continue to share it and just speak it, and maybe it's, I don't care if it's one person, I did my job.
Yeah.
If I can change one person, I did my job. You know,
I think it's gonna be more than one person, but
I'm pretty sure it's
I'll bet
already
money on that.
been. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's been at least two, which is more than one. So, and
You
you
know-
still have the rest of your life.
yeah, man, it's just, you know, the thing is for me, people know some of my story. You know, people try to do articles in the paper for me, but they never really heard the full story from my mom.
I tried Googling you, I didn't find much.
Yeah, because I don't tell them much.
Yeah.
Because I only tell them because I was always so scared about my family.
Right.
And I didn't want to put them out there in a situation because I don't know if they're comfortable. But at this point in time in my life, it's not about being comfortable anymore. You got to be comfortable being uncomfortable
Yeah.
and accept the cards that you was dealt.
Yeah.
And really look at where you come. Like, I'm so proud of my mom because she's hit rock bottom and dug her way out that hole and made something out of herself. And, you know, not a lot of people can say that.
Right.
You know, not a lot of people can say, listen, I've raised, you know, I made my mistakes. I've learned from them and I've raised some amazing children. You know, yeah, I had some losses along the way. She lost both her sons. And, you know, so it's just like, you know, when you see somebody do that, it's hard not to be inspired. You know, so, and, you know, that's kind of been my MO for me because, you know, I know my mom hurts. I know I'm hurting because I lost my brother. But I try to put myself in her shoes.
Oh yeah,
and
those are babies.
yeah,
you
absolutely. So I try to put myself in her shoes and try to be more empathetic than ever. So, you know, that's kind of, you know, again, it helps me. Sharing my story helps me a lot. And, you know, that's because kind of why I want to, you know, who knows, hopefully this helps me take it off and move forward in the right direction where, you know, I can make that impact and partner with some programs from foster cares and, you know, do things like that. Like, it'll be amazing.
Well, I know that, you know, if anything comes up with you in the future, we want to have you back on and we want to talk about your projects and, you know, have some follow-up questions. And anything that you do, if you send us the info, we'll also plug it. You know, if you have a fundraiser or if you have like an adoption event or anything like that you're hosting or that you're participating with, we will definitely do our part in making sure that word gets out.
Joey would do it all.
Yeah. No.
Marketing whiz.
No, Tony will do it.
He's the marketing guy.
All right. No,
He doesn't want to
absolutely
take over.
not. No.
And you know the day like this podcast will go like hit it big time when Joey takes over the marketing.
No.
Whenever you're ready. Let me
T, where can the people find you? Go ahead and plug your Insta if you have YouTube, if you have, you know, Facebook or whatever portals you use.
So for me, I'm on Insta at Terrell C16, and then on Twitter at T Chestnut.
It has been an absolute pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And we want you back on sometime soon if you have any upcoming projects. When you start your own podcast, I expect to be a guest, and so is Tony.
Absolutely. I'm gonna continue to pick your brain, man, because this is different being just talking to a mic and, you know. But it's like, man, y'all got something going, man. Y'all doing something great. For me,
That's all this guy.
yeah, man. Because telling you, because it's crazy that you said, you know, like I was telling you at the park the other day, like you kind of took this path because I was thinking about it like a month ago. Like, man, I got a lot of friends in the NFL that people would love to hear the stories about how they got to where they are.
Yeah.
The trials and tribulations and everything. But it's like, man, it's like, y'all got something special, man. If there's anything, any way I can help you, man, just let me know, because again, I know a lot of people.
You know what I'm always afraid of when I think of stuff like that is not only do people, you know, want to hear struggle stories and success stories and stuff like that, but just like you said earlier, there might be that one person who needs to hear it. And if you don't release your content, if you don't release your story, have your friends' stories, you know, then that person will never hear what they need to hear, and they'll never, you know, get that inspiration or that motivation. Or so you kind of have a duty, you know, to do this for people who otherwise can't.
Absolutely.
Somebody's gotta do it.
Yeah, why not? But man, it's going to be done, and you know, again, man, it's all about making an impact, man. Because you know,
I just thought about Russell Westbrook when he said, "Why not just?"
you know, it's dope, man. Again, I appreciate y'all having me on, man.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it's on the beginning, man. It's on the beginning.
Yes.
It was only the beginning, and shit, man, this was our first 2-hour podcast.
Hey, that was
That
gold.
was worth it.
That was gold
That was-
every minute.
I'm glad that
so.
was it. I'm glad that story was 2 hours long, because there's other stories that.
I would have been mad if like you would have cut stuff out. Like it was great.
It's good, man. If you like this, guys, please share it on your IG, tag us all.
Let us know.
And as always, just keep spreading the word, let people know about us and any upcoming guests send them our way. We love y'all.
Love you.
Peace.
Peace.
Oh, man. I had no idea.
Yeah, man, it's rough.